5, we are looking more into the details of optical communication. If a pulse of light from a source such as LED or laser is sent down a narrow fiber, it will be degraded or changed by its passage through the fiber. It will reach the receiver as weaker, smeared out or distorted. Now, we'll be focusing on the spreading out condition of optical pulses, commonly known as dispersion.
Dispersion is the spreading of optical pulses as they travel through the fiber. This diagram explains the pulse broadening caused by dispersion. This represents an input pulse. As the optical pulses travel through the fiber, they tend to disperse. That is, in the output side, we will be getting a pulse like this. By comparing the width of the input pulse and the output pulse, we can say that the output pulse has been dispersed or spread out. As a pulse of light propagates through a fiber, different elements such as numerical aperture, core diameter, refractive index profile, wavelength, and laser line width cause the pulse to broaden. This can be measured using a mathematical expression. Delta T is equal to root of delta T out minus delta T in. You can see that dispersion is measured in time, usually in nanoseconds or picoseconds. The total dispersion per unit length can be expressed as delta T out is equal to L into dispersion per kilometer. The total dispersion is a function of fiber length. The longer the fiber means, the more will be the dispersion. This can also be expressed in other terms. We can say it as dispersion time is equal to square of numerical aperture into L by 2NC. NA represents numerical aperture, L the length of the fiber or the distance travelled. Here N represents the refractive index of the core and C the speed of light in vacuum, that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. The dispersion is typically expressed in units of picoseconds or nanoseconds per kilometer nanometer. This nanometer indicates the wavelength of light. Consider a case. A data is transmitted as 1 0 1 0 1 0, and at the receiver side we got a dispersed output pulse, but still the data output can be recovered as 1 0 1 0 1 0. Now we'll consider another case. The data rate is higher. This is the input sequence and this is the spread out output. The data transmitted by the transmitter was 10 10 10 101. But here in the output, the pulses have overlapped. Then what happens is, the receiver finds it difficult to identify the individual pulses. It has recorded the output as 1 1 1 1 1. The zeros in the input sequence are lost. This problem is known as inter-symbol interference. Inter-symbol interference occurs when the pulse spreading caused by dispersion causes the output pulses of a system to overlap, thus making them undetectable. This happens when an output pulse is spread such that the rate of change of the input exceeds the dispersion limit of the fiber. There are many kinds of dispersion, each of which works in different ways. Only the most important among these are discussed here. Dispersion is generally divided into two categories: modal dispersion and chromatic dispersion. Modal dispersion are usually seen in multimode fibers, and so it is called as intermodal dispersion. That is, this happens between the different modes of a fiber. And the chromatic dispersion is commonly seen in single mode fibers, and it is known as intramodal dispersion. That means it happens within that mode itself. Let's discuss the first type, modal dispersion. It is defined as the pulse spreading caused by the time delay between the lower order modes and the higher order modes. As this is a multimode fiber, there will be multiple modes. In this diagram, only two modes have been shown. This represents a higher order mode and this straight line represents a lower order mode. We know if the incident angle is equal to critical angle, then the light beam will be traveling straight through this border. Similarly, there are modes with minimum reflections. Such modes can be represented as lower order modes. And the higher order modes are modes propagating at steeper angles. In the transmitting side, all the modes will be transmitted at the same time. But if the pulses travel a long distance, then at the receiving side, the pulses will be arriving at different times. Lower order modes reach at a particular time and the higher order modes will be arriving at a different time. Thus, this time delay in the receiver side causes dispersion and it is known as modal dispersion. This kind of dispersion is usually seen in multimode fibers. Now we will discuss the second category of dispersion, chromatic dispersion. Chromatic dispersion is a combined effect of two types of dispersions, material dispersion and waveguide dispersion. These are the major sources of dispersion in single mode fibers. Material dispersion is the pulse spreading due to the fact that different wavelengths of light propagate at slightly different velocities through the fiber. The commonly used light sources for optical communication are LEDs and lasers. We know lasers are having very pointed beams, but still it is having finite line widths. That is, they emit more than one wavelength. For example, consider a laser source of 500 nanometer. This source is expected to output only 500 nanometer. As this is having a finite line width, it will be covering some more wavelengths like 498 or 502, etc. As the refractive index of glass fiber is a wavelength dependent quantity, different wavelengths propagate at different velocities. Therefore, it will reach the receiver side at different times. Thus, even with a single mode fiber, there is chance for dispersion. Another type of dispersion that is seen in a single mode fiber is waveguide dispersion. It is due to the physical structure of the waveguide. The waveguide used in optical communication is optical fiber. We know the special feature of a single mode fiber is it is having a mode field. That is, the electric and magnetic fields that constitute the pulse of light extends outside the core into the cladding. The amount that the fields overlap between the core and the cladding depends strongly on the wavelength. The longer the wavelength, the further the wave extends into the cladding. Thus, for a shorter wavelength, a greater proportion of the wave is held within the core. So what happens is, these shorter wavelengths experiences a higher refractive index, that is, the refractive index of the core and only a small portion of the cladding. When considering the longer wavelengths, it experiences the refractive index of the core and a greater portion in the cladding area. The Ri experienced by a wave is an average of the Ri of the core and the cladding depending on the relative proportion of the wave. We know the index of refraction of the glass fiber is a wavelength dependent quantity. Therefore, it offers different velocities for light. What happens here is, the shorter wavelengths, which is experiencing a higher refractive index, tends to travel more slowly than the longer ones. Thus, at the receiving end, the signal gets dispersed. This diagram explains the dispersion exhibited by a standard single mode fiber. The dispersion is marked here, and these are the wavelengths represented in micrometers. The material dispersion and the waveguide dispersion have opposite signs depending on the transmission wavelength. With increasing wavelength, the material dispersion goes high, but at the same time, the waveguide dispersion is getting lower. The combined effect of the material dispersion and the waveguide dispersion is represented as chromatic dispersion. In this case, we can see that these two effectively cancel each other at 1.31 micrometer or 1310 nanometer, yielding a zero dispersion. Thus, very high bandwidth communication is possible at this wavelength. But the problem with this wavelength is that the attenuation is not minimum. The glass fibers exhibit minimum attenuation at 1550 nanometer. So, to shift the zero dispersion wavelength to 1550 nanometer, the design of the waveguide was altered. Thus, the magnitude of the waveguide dispersion was increased. Now, the chromatic dispersion has been shifted like this. That is, the dispersion free effect happens at 1550 nanometer. This kind of a fiber is known as dispersion shifted fiber. So, by dispersion shifted fibers, high bandwidth long distance communication is possible. Bandwidth of an optical fiber is determined by the amount of information that can be supported. But dispersion is a mechanism that limits a fiber's bandwidth, and it can be related as bandwidth is equal to 0.35 by total dispersion. Thank you for watching.